Hi, welcome to This Week in Ames. I'm Susan Guiazda. On today's show, we're going to check in with a new building official. My guest today is Seana Perkins, who is the new building official for the City of Ames. Seana, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, although you're new to the position, you are actually not new to the City of Ames. Tell me a little bit about your background.
I was lucky enough to be a land use planner here for Ames for about a year and a half. Then I went to, don't tell anyone, Ankeny for about 4 years, where I was a land use planner there. And then I had a wonderful opportunity here in Ames to come back as the business development coordinator, which is a proportionate amount of that position is funded by the City of Ames at the City Council's direction, but the position was actually housed as part of the Ames Economic Development Commission. So it was kind of a liaison position between the two entities.
And you were in that position for a couple of years. That was a brand new position. You were the first person to serve as the business development coordinator, which I think in a lot of ways has prepared you for this next step.
Definitely. I was able to capture a lot of relationships and an understanding of kind of both that private public sector space.
So building official is a title that you've had not very long.
No, since mid-April.
Okay, and as building official, it's really a position that works a lot with safety?
Correct. And luckily that division has a wealth of knowledge base already in it. We have very knowledgeable inspectors and supervisors that can assist me. It's very much a team effort in making those determinations and decisions.
So the City of Ames is set up a little bit differently than some cities in that the building, the inspections division is under the fire department. But as we talked about safety, there's a lot of those, there's a lot of overlap.
Definitely. I think that we're very lucky to be part of that fire department entity. Typically, you're right. In other jurisdictions, the inspection division is part of a larger community development department. But here, because in building, we're trying to make sure that the buildings that are constructed here in Ames are safe, and that being part of the fire suppression aspect of the fire department goes hand in hand with that.
So as in your job in inspections, who are your customers? Who do you see coming to the counter or dealing with on the phone? What kind of people are you working with?
It's a wide variety. I mean, we're getting individuals, property owners who want to build a deck, all the way to multi-million-dollar headquarter offices, which we're seeing developed here in Ames, which is great. So really, our customer service has to span a wide spectrum of our community.
So you're doing a residential walk-in. I say I'm going to put a deck on the back of my house. I need to go to the inspections division to make sure that I'm following the proper guidelines.
Correct.
To the person who says, we're going to relocate our headquarter office here in Ames, and here are the plans.
And we're part of a citywide team called the Development Review Committee. So we are able to kind of create, in some respects, a one-stop shop. And the inspection division is happy to be part of that. So when that headquarters does come in, or other large projects, we're able to guide that customer through the process that they need to go through to make sure it's a well-built building.
So the one question I get a lot is the City of Ames, like most municipalities, has adopted the International Building Code.
Correct.
And so people want to go online and read the International Building Code. And why is that a problem?
It's a large number of documents, of books, and our code, our jurisdiction, our city, our community does not adopt fully the entire spectrum. There may be some alterations to the entire ICC book. And so we are more than happy to provide that information, and really we want to talk to customers about it so that we can guide them. They don't have to read the entire book. We can guide them to what chapter, what certain sections might be valuable to them to know.
So a lot of your work then is it's to me similar to your work as the business development coordinator, where you're sort of facilitating, getting projects done from start to finish.
Mm-hmm. And that's why this position was so attractive to me, because it is very similar. I enjoy taking a leadership position and making sure that projects get the best start that they can.
So in addition to, you have specialists working for you, those people who are looking at plumbing and electrical work, but also you have code compliancy people,
yes,
neighborhood inspectors. So maybe for the population in Ames who isn't building,
yes,
how might they run into people in your office?
We have a lady in our office, Sarah Van Meeren, who is a community codes liaison. It's a recently expanded role, and so she is our resident expert on who our community members can talk to about certain issues that do unfortunately crop up in neighborhoods and other areas of town, such as noxious weeds and debris dumping. There's a whole wide spectrum of code enforcement kind of issues that she can help and direct those inquiries to the right people, the right department, and be that kind of leadership position for that.
Yeah, this is the time of the year where we get people saying, my neighbor won't mow his or her yard, or their dogs are loose, or there's a lot of trash in the yard. Now, do you take those kind of phone calls?
We can help them understand what the code requirements are and how we can assist them. And yes, we would take those calls so that we make sure that that customer gets the service that they need and the answers that they need.
And do you have people driving around looking for those kind of infractions, or is this all sort of complaint driven?
It's typically complaint driven, yes. The staffing requirements to be more proactive on these complaints would be excessive. It's beyond our scope, unfortunately, to be able to do that. However, as soon as we get a complaint, we are researching it and we're getting that person, that customer, to the right person.
So I would assume a lot of what you're doing is educating neighbors about what the expectations are, kind of being that go-between, the facilitator to working out neighborhood issues?
The community codes liaison does have that component under her, that educational component, and that facilitation component. She's directly under me, so I have the ability to supervise her as well. So it's a nice relationship. We get to work together on some of those issues.
So it seems like in your role as building official, you are reaching out to all sorts of different departments and divisions within the city.
Yes.
And do you work then beyond the city organization?
Yes, there are several community groups that have also reached out to me, the Ames Rental Association, other organizations. The inspections division is very broad in its scope. We do handle a lot of different issues, rental and building construction, so that gives me the opportunity to really do a lot of outreach and a lot of communication with different organizations.
You brought up the rental association. Part of your division handles annual rental inspections.
Yes.
And there's been some changes in how those are being carried out, and how has that been received?
Very positively, from what I can tell. Again, I've been in the job for just a little over a month, so it may be premature for me to state that, but from outward appearances, it seems like it's been very well received.
And there are thousands of rental units in Ames.
Yes.
And those are on a schedule now that has been, I think, stretched out a little bit. So it had gone from maybe an annual to every other year? Or?
I believe that there's, depending on the letter of compliance and the inspection, it can be anywhere from 1 to 4 years for that reinspection to occur. Since our new rental code was adopted in 2009, we've processed approximately, I think, a little less than 5,000 units inspected since that time. And we are also stepping up, so we're inspecting more than ever.
And more units are being built.
Yes, exactly.
So as you look into the future, are there some challenges ahead, and what are your areas of concentration as you get more knowledge base about your position? What are some things you want to focus on?
I think that understanding what the needs are in the community, how we can best fill those needs, I would like to look towards that customer service aspect and make sure that we're fulfilling those needs specifically as well, that we're continuing to promote knowledgeable staff, that we're giving them the tools that they need to go out in the community and make those decisions on site.
Well, and I know your division is one of those that does a lot of evaluations, trying to get feedback and wanting to learn where you can improve. And I always think that that's very helpful for the customer to say this worked, this didn't work. You're going to continue then to collect that information?
Yes, and we're going to be working hand in hand with our community, our business development coordinator to do that.
So the new you.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, Seana, I'm so excited for you for this new
Thank
position. I know that you're just, jumping in there head first and hitting the ground running. And I'm bringing with you all those connections I know will be helpful.
Thank you.
So I will look forward to talking to you again as you bring forward some new initiatives.
Thank you.
Well, it's almost time for the Ames Municipal Band to start playing again. Those concerts are on Thursday evenings with the pre-concert starting at 7 p.m. and the Ames Municipal Band taking the stage at 8 p.m. First concert will be Thursday, June 6th, so hope to see you at Ames Bandshell Park. Also remember, now with the Furman Aquatic Center open, you can check and see if the pool is open due to weather circumstances by looking on the Furman Facebook page or by calling the Parks and Recreation hotline. That number's on your screen. Well, that's our show for today. Thanks for watching, and tune in next week for This Week in Ames.